The 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly opened on 25 September 2018 under the theme Making the United Nations Relevant to All People, Global Leadership and Shared Responsibilities for Peaceful, Equality and Sustainable Society. The United Nations high-level meeting concentrated on the fight against tuberculosis, malaria, and many more diseases agreed by the member states. The 73rd sessions of the United Nations outlined priorities to promote gender equality, migration and refugees policies, effort to protect the environment pollution, rights of the person with a disability, and reform of the United Nations system to promote peace. The colorful session was attended by the South Sudan delegation led by the first Vice President Taban Deng. In his speech, the U.S. President Donald Trump said America will withdraw from the Human Rights Council and will not return until real reform is enacted. President Trump added that the ICC have no jurisdiction, no legitimacy, and no authority over the citizens of every country. Violation of principle of justice, fairness, and due process.
As my administration has demonstrated, America will always act in our national interests. I spoke before this body last year and warned that the UN Human Rights Council had become a grave embarrassment to this institution, shielding egregious human rights abusers while bashing America and its many friends. Our ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, laid out a clear agenda for reform, but despite reported and repeated warnings, no action at all was taken. So the United States took the only responsible course. We withdrew from the Human Rights Council, and we will not return until real reform is enacted. For similar reasons, the United States will provide no support in recognition to the International Criminal Court. As far as America is concerned, the ICC has no jurisdiction, no legitimacy, and no authority. The ICC claims near universal jurisdiction over the citizens of every country, violating all principles of justice, fairness, and due process. We will never surrender America's sovereignty to an unelected, unaccountable global bureaucracy.
South Sudan ambassador to UN, Akwe Bwana Malwal, pointed out that 73rd session of the United Nations talks on the sustainable programs such as health and environment.
And today is the regular UN General Assembly, is the 73rd. Since the UN was formed in 1945, the world leaders, the world countries have been meeting for 73 times. Every year they meet. The agenda of this year is to do with sustainable development. There is a big program on health, especially malaria and tuberculosis. Those are the high-level meetings. The South Sudan delegation is led, of course, by the first Vice President, General Taban Deng, with accompanying with 3 or 4 ministers. South Sudan will give its speech next Friday in the morning, and that will be delivered by General Taban Deng, the first Vice President. Part of that speech, we think it should include the recent peace agreement that was concluded in Khartoum and Addis Ababa.
United Nations General Assembly session of this year talks on the shared responsibility, sustainable development that remain to be the tangible concerns of the world.
The United Nations high-level meeting of today discussed sustainable development issues such as health, agriculture, environment, and many more. Reporting for South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation in New York, United Nations headquarters, Port Johnson Matura Kech.